So you said you were hardest on yourself until your physician broke it down to you.
Yes. I was looking at the scale and I was just like, oh my God, how did I get this big? I've been working out, I've been eating, I've been staying, I'm doing my protein, but the scale is not moving, like nothing. So I was like, well, something's wrong. So I'm going to get checked. Actually, he referred me to a place to get my hormones and check everything out.
Yep.
So I'm getting up in age, and I was like, okay, well, maybe that's what it is. And so as we do it, they did a DEXA scan and they did my body weight and everything. And I'm looking at the scale and I'm like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. He about to tell me, girl, you got to go on a diet right now or it's over.
Yeah.
He was like, so I was hard on myself. And as he came back and he was reading the charts, he was like, you have 80 pounds of muscle on you right now. He said, at your age, that's very impressive. He was like, so what you're talking about, he's like, yeah, you have another 100 pounds on you.
Yeah.
Like, but you have 80 pounds of
So it's body
muscle.
composition,
He was like, so
real muscle
even though
mass.
you're feeling this way, you're looking at the scale, he's like, I wouldn't consider you obese, but you don't have visceral fat. You're not carrying fat in your stomach. You're not carrying fat, around your organs.
Dangerous areas, yeah.
You're heavier because you put on muscle mass.
And that's truly body composition. Your relationship with your physician is so important. Yeah. You were down on yourself, you didn't understand that number. You just said, hey, my height, I'm almost 200 pounds, what's happening here? But he taught to you what composition was, muscle mass to fat, and it kind of gave you some relief, right?
It gave me a lot of relief.
It gave you a lot of relief. You know what I mean?
I came home and I showed him the paperwork, and he was just a proud man, like a proud trainer / husband.
Yeah.
No, it was important. It resonated with me on a really, really deep level. And this is for the social media world. She is a case study proving that she's putting majority of that muscle on in her 40s.
It can be done.
It can be done. So to think that a woman at her age, as you mature, that you can't, it's over for you. I started training her, 4 years now? I've been training 3 years now.
Honestly, we've been consistent maybe 2.
2 years. I put all my energy and effort into her training. I took over everything. She had other trainers previously, but I didn't like the direction they were going into, and I wanted to kind of train her. I felt like she had the stature and the structure where she could put on a good amount of size and still maintain her structure and her waistline.
That feminine appearance.
And that feminine appearance. So I took her down a bodybuilding journey, and we isolated movements and really focused on certain body parts that we wanted to develop.
Yep.
So it was a proud moment for me. I was like, we put on that amount of muscle in a 2-year period, and it was a lot of hard work. She was
direct clock training sessions.
Yeah, it was a lot. So it was a proud moment for me.
But it was the happiest point in your journey, probably though, because now instead of you in a mad dash to just stay active and not eat, which is a miserable existence, you're instead now eating more of the right foods, muscle building foods, and lifting weights is fun. Pre-workout, loud music with your husband.
I have muscle. I have my Apple Watch on, and I'm like, oh, I burned how many calories and I haven't done anything. Because I have muscle? I'm burning calories in my sleep.
The muscle building process is so fun.
Yes.
So much easier. Me and Valencia, when we started training, I was 19, she was 19 as well. I took her to what was called the women's side of the gym. They had like neoprene weights. Okay. You know what I mean? Colorful neoprene weights. Tucked off to the side with cablings. This is 2004 probably for you.
Yeah.
About 2004 for her probably, if that math makes sense. Anyways, we're like sophomores in college. And it wasn't a very popular thing to do. Fitness was not at all. So that women's section was because 19, 20-year-old girls weren't hitting the gym as heavy back then, not in 2000, early 2000s. Anyways, was consistent with it, kept hitting it. And she was getting some weight, or muscles. I was excited about it.
Right.
You graduated high school. You graduated high school at what weight?
Solid 100 probably. 100 pounds.
100?
Yeah.
110, somewhere in there, right?
Yeah.
And at what height?
Probably about 5'7" still.
Yeah. Well, right now you're at 5'8.5". I got you. You didn't grow in high school, in college. So 5'8" is your height now?
Okay,
Yeah,
we'll say
5'8.5".
5'8".
You think you grew an inch in school? 5'8.5". Okay. So 5'8.5" at 110 pounds. And then you started to pick up weight as you matured and aged.
Right.
Naturally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because the
Grown woman weight.
Because at 19, 20, 21, as I try and tell all the time, you still are going to mature.
Yeah.
You're still just not coming out of real puberty. You know what I mean? You'll naturally pick up weight. So just do your thing, keep lifting weights, and you will fill out more.
Yeah.
And I tease all the time that after we had our first child is when she really began to pop to me more.
Yeah, absolutely. Man.
Because the curves came in a little more deep, you know what I mean? Look at me, I was always attracted to her. When them curves started to pop after having a child, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so that weight went up to about, what was your pregnancy weight? You said around 170, you said?
My baby one, I probably went up about 150. With Lydia, second one, I went up about 170.
170, and then you settle back in towards that 130 range,
Yeah.
and then now you sit at about 150 comfortably
Yeah.
as a 40-year-old woman.
Yeah.
At any rate, staying active the whole time is the key.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And do understand that once you reach the age of 40, as both of these guys are, you learn to shift into pursuing muscle mass, the ever-fleeting muscle mass, right? And not just running marathons and not eating all day.
It's more important to me than cardio.
Building muscle mass, right?
Yes.
So aesthetics and health,
Yeah.
it all comes together.
And it's a flex. One of the biggest flex you can have is someone saying, man, that's a grown woman. Or that's a grown man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
you've matured into your body.
Yeah.
I mean, you live life. It look like, hey, man, she
Yeah.
done been through some things. He done been through, they done picked some heavy stuff up. They didn't move something. I think that's a dope
Yeah.
flex when someone
And that
says
body
that.
composition is just right for that
Right.
woman,
Definitely
adult
say,
woman.
especially for a woman like me and her that have kids. I have 4 myself that I birthed.
Uh-huh.
And when they say, "Oh my God, girl, you have 4," that that my little heart be fluttering. I'll be over here. Yes. So it does feel good.
Yeah.
And just being older and able to being able to come in the gym and lift weights.
Yeah.
And being able to be mobile.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, a lot of people aren't mobile.
Yeah.
They can't even do it. So it's like.
You know, one thing I would say about my ladies I've been training for since forever is I'm always trying to preach that you should embrace the idea that you've had children.
Yes.
You're not going to erase all signs of ever have had a child.
Yeah.
At one point in time in my training career, I've been doing this forever, right? There was this thing called snatchback,
Yes.
whereby ladies were fresh after pregnancy trying to erase all signs of having had a child. And I think it's the worst thing ever. This is the point in your life to embrace who you are and bond with that child. Don't worry about the aesthetics of what society says about you looking like someone who's had a child. Guess what? You had a child. It's perfectly fine. Your body will no longer be the same. That's perfectly fine. You have a child, though. Be happy about this part. You know, it's something to embrace, right?
It is.
Special time.
Yeah.
That's another
You got an
flex.
imprint on the
Yeah,
baby.
that's another flex. That
And
women
grown
have,
men
in my
love grown
opinion.
women.
You say, no disrespect. I actually commend ladies that find the gym and they go on their journey and they look great and amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's always more impressive to see a woman that has done it and they've had children. and
yeah,
live
yeah.
life. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? I'm not taking credit away, but it hits a little different when you're like, oh man, she got 2 kids, 3 kids, a whole family, and she looks that amazing.
Still moving.
Right, and I think we can appreciate it because we know what comes along with kids and family
Time
and
Nursing.
Yeah.
yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're up early, going to bed late and still being able to find time to, invest into your body.
Yeah.
So for a woman, it's got a little bit of, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hit
Added
different.
edge,
with
hit
you.
different for her, yeah.
It's like, oh, she got 2 kids, 3 kids, 4. Oh man, she looks amazing versus someone, maybe a young lady that maybe hasn't, took that journey of being a mother. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's a little different.
I hope that natural conversation amongst married couples and health journeys has some takeaways for you.
Yeah.
I am Big Ron Jones, Valencia Jones, the Jacksons, Anjali and Myron, with practical advice for your real world goals.
There it is.